welcome back to the Sumo Stomp YouTube channel. I'm back with another video. We're going to open another pack of cards. BBM 2025 Series 1 Sumo cards. Last time we did this video we pulled 4 juryo guys. Nothing against those wrestlers, but I know we want some bigger names. We want some Ozeki, we want some Yokozuna or future Yokozuna in this pack, right? We want something special. The first video I did, I didn't realize how lucky I was to pull that Ozeki promotion Onosato card and the Kotozakura Yusho card. So those looked pretty special in comparison to my second video where we pulled the likes of Tsurugisho and Kageyaki. We did get the Oroga holographic card though, and that was pretty neat. So again, I bought these from BigSumoFan.com, a really wonderful store and highly recommend. Not a sponsor for this video, but you know, maybe one day. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Today's setup, I have our Tobizaru towel here, which was gifted to me by subscriber Dan, who was so kind when he was in Osaka to watch a tournament. He messaged me and asked if there was anything I wanted picked up, and I mean, how lovely is that? And I said anything Tobizaru, anything Ura, since those are my daughter's favorites, mini sumo stomp as we call her on the blog. And yeah, he sent me these out, and what a kind gesture, eh? And I'm not sure what to do with them. I really don't want to make them messy, or I suppose you should really use them to wipe sweat off, because that's what they're used for, really. And here in around Toronto right now, it is sweltering. We have a heat warning. Gonna go up to, I think 37 it's supposed to go up to tomorrow, which is nasty. Don't like that. And maybe we're gonna summon Tobizaru with this towel. Yeah, that's why the towel's here. The next video I'll use the Ura towel to try and get an Ura, but today we're pulling a flying monkey. Okay, no juryo guys today. Should we see? Again, we use the scissors because we're being very neat. Sleeve, because we're so prepared here. Again, Big Sumo fan, we send the sleeves when you buy the cards. How cool is that? Okay, we don't want to see any green today. We are only top division. Oh, come on. You see it. I see it. Whose Chonmage is that? Who do we think that is? Let's see. There we go. This one actually a bit of an inside joke for us in my household. This is Dayamami, and in my household we always say his name is Dayamami with question mark, because my 5-year-old, right when she was starting to get words together, it was never daddy or mummy, it was just this amalgamation of our names, and she would often say Dayamami. So that's my fond memories of this wrestler, who, just like in the last video we did, another guy on the wrong side of 30, which pains me to say is someone who has recently turned 40, and another guy with banged up knees. Eesh. Knees are endangered species in sumo, and Dayamami has one of the creakiest looking squats in the game, right? When he bends down, it looks like he's desperate for the bout to start as soon as possible so he can get out of that squat. You can just imagine his knees cracking and popping when he does that. And this is his 2024 record here, the 6 tournaments he had last year, and this symbol with the cross here that denotes that this is juryo, and then this is Megashira. So we can see in January he was juryo 1. He got his Kachikoshi in 7, and that got him to Megashire 16 for the March tournament. And Makikochi 7 and 8, demoted to juryo 1 for May, 6 and 9, demoted 1 spot, 6 and 9, demoted 3 spots, 4 and 11, down to juryo 9, finishing the year 6 and 9. And I haven't been tracking him that closely this year, but he has not come close to getting out of juryo. There's a lot of young studs in juryo this year, especially Kusano. I mean, can we get a Kusano? I think he was in juryo in November, so he might be in this series. But that would be a very acceptable juryo pull. But we got Diamami. Okay, so my hope, my forecast for no juryo guys has been broken already on the first poll. So now we're just gonna hope for one juryo guy. Okay. Let's see. Nice. We are not in juryo. We are in the top division. Is it Tobazara? Have we summoned him? It is not. It is Endo. Endo in the red Moashi. Endo, who's had a really funny year this year, hasn't he? We'll look at the back and we'll talk about his 2024, since these cards are really in celebration of these wrestlers last year's. So, here we go. Endo Shota. Very popular Rikishi. The guy who came up through the ranks super fast, was very popular, and partly because he's a handsome fella. And let's see, all in Megashire last year, as hard as Megashire, let's see. Oh no, he went down to juryo once, of course he did. Went down to juryo once, so Megashire 13, 5 and 10. Megashire 16, 5 and 10, down to juryo, lit a fire under him, went 12 and 3, came right back up. Megashire 14, 10 and 5, and 8, 7, 7, 8. So, a good second half of the year for Endo. This year, in March, we saw him go down with a knee injury, and he fought his way through it, and finished, I believe, 7, 8, but every bout he was super slow to get up, and just looked really banged up, really out of shape. People were wondering if he had a concussion, because he was so slow to get up. But he since said he had a pretty bad knee. But in his most recent tournament in May, we saw a reoccurrence of that knee injury where he was still like hobbled a lot and taking big jumps off of the ring into the crowd. I think looking for the extra cushioning of people's seats as opposed to just hitting the flat concrete. But despite being hurt in May, he finished with 9 and 6, I believe. So a good tournament for him. Hopefully he's all healed up for the Nagoya Basho, which is our next one at this time. See some of the stats here. As I said in previous videos, I don't read Japanese, so I can't decipher all of that, but you can, to make some good guesses that we got his height and his weight, his win-loss record here. I think it was up there, 505, 471, and 50 absences. The number below, I'm assuming, is the Makuchi only record. And then we might also see some things like how many special prizes and things like that. Yeah, Endo. So there we go. We're in the top division. And I can see we've got a yellow poking out here. So let's see who we got. Sadanoumi. Very intense Rikishi with the dad bod. Sadanoumi coming off a great tournament. He just went 10 and 5 in May and won a Fighting Spirit prize. That was his first tournament since coming up from juryo, and he looked great. He's a Yotsu Sumo practitioner, famous for his he goes Migi Yotsu to Sadanoumi. And he's so great at turning those into throws. He really thrashes people around. I just wrote the report card on him for Sumo Stomp. And he is one of the more active Yotsu guys. He is not going to hug and chug you like Some other folks might. He's a guy who he gets a hold of you, and he's not trying to slowly marshal you around. He's whipping you around, trying to take you off your feet, and either throw you down or go for a crush out or something dynamic. Look at his win-loss record here: 722, 736. Massive numbers for Sadanoumi. The top 20, top 15, maybe even top 10 all time. He broke into one of those lists last year, and I think he said it's not that impressive considering he loses as much as he wins. But you know, he's not quite the Iron Man that Tamoshi is as far as not missing any time, but he's up there. The veteran, I think he's 38 now, and still competing with the youngsters. Last year, all in Makuchi. See, he went pretty good records here, like 6-9, 8-7, 9-6, and 5-10, 7-8, 4-11. That 4-11, I think, well, look, he was, make sure 12 there. He was demoted early on this year, but came right back up. I don't think it was off that 4-11 he was demoted. That'd be a pretty big jump from make sure 12 to juryo. Maybe though. But regardless, he's back in the division now, and with a 10-5 he just got, he's going to get a healthy promotion where he can survive at the higher level. We'll see. But Sadanoumi, I think he's a guy that no one wants to face him on a given day. He can beat anyone, and he will really make it tough on you. So let's see. And I saw a little peak of green here, so unfortunately we're back in juryo. But if we're going to be in juryo, we want to be spending time with Chiyomaru. Look at that belly. Chiyomaru Ushikona means everlastingly round, and you can see why. So Chiyomaru has had a decent amount of time in Makuchi, but right now he is very much a level below that. Another guy with horribly banged up knees. I think he's in Makishita currently. I think in the last tournament he came up against Enho, both down there in the 3rd division. But yeah, old juryo for him. Its highest, I think it was juryo 1. Oh no, that's Makishita. He was, so juryo was the square there. This is for Makishita. So here's Makishita 1, and we get to see that by going 4-3 since they only have 7 bouts in Makishita. So we got promoted from immediately in March, so that's the March tournament, and then in May at juryo 13 went 4-11, went straight back down, 2 tournaments in Makishita, and then finished the year in juryo. But look at that, went 1-14. Must have been banged up for that one. Chiyomaru, one of the more memed wrestlers on the circuit, but yeah, as a competitor, best days are behind him, but you know, still a fun addition to Grand Sumo. Okay, we got 2 left, and I can see we got another Makuchi. Here we go. A little higher rank now. We got Oho, the grandson of the legendary Taiho. Oho, who has had some dizzying highs this year. Let's get him in the sleep first. So, in 2024, all in Makuchi, and look at his records there: 10-5, 7-8, 6-9, 9-6, 9-6, 6-9. So nothing jumps out on paper there, but you look at his record here. He's in the joy for a lot of that. He share 1, 2, 3, 4, and this year in January is when he got into the playoff for the title and met Kimbo-zan and Ho Shoryu. And he took care of Kimbo-zan, but came up short against Ho Shoryu. And Ho Shoryu took him out, and got his Yokozuna promotion as a result of it. And Oho was promoted up to Sekiwake after that, and he's struggled since then. He's not been able to replicate that form. I thought that maybe he was on kind of that Kotozakura track this year, where he was just, last year rather, where he was just under the radar, being quietly very good and developing his skills. He's still a very young guy. I think he's 24 maybe, and I thought he was ready to blossom this year. He's an Oshizumo guy, pusher thruster, and in earlier years his pushing and thrusting has looked a little slow, a little labored. Doesn't quite have a snap of an Abi, right? Doesn't have that same kind of violence and meanness to him, but he was showing a bit of that in that January tournament. So I was hoping that maybe he turned a corner and kind of his mentality had matured along with his body as he gets into his prime. I still think there's a lot of upside for Oho. I don't think this is the last time we'll see him in the Sanyaku. You know, Ozeki might be a bit of a stretch for him, but he's young. We'll see. But yeah. So Oho. We have one card left. And we have our towel here. I'm trying to summon Tobizaru. If it doesn't work, I may have to return this towel to Dan. Let's see. Well, we're in Makuchi. That's a good start. There's our top knot. Oh my. It's not Tobizaru, but who doesn't love to see Ura? Hey, a holographic Ura. That is wonderful. And it's early too. I was going to use the Ura towel in the next video to summon him, but he just wanted to be part of the party, huh? What can we say about Ura? You know, everybody's favorite Rikishi, for good reason too, right? The most entertaining man in the dojo. You know, he does the unexpected. He's Sumo's flubber. He can roll, he can spin, he can jump, he can twist, he can do all kinds of nutty stuff out there. You think if he was a little bit more orthodox, he might get a little more wins than he does, but where's the fun in that, right? Ura is a guy who likes to try things. He fights for highlights, not for titles, and you know, you just gotta love him for it, right? You gotta accept him for who he is. He's not trying to go, you know, 14-1 and lift an Emperor's Cup. He's trying to pull off a crazy back pivot, twisting body drop, and go viral and make the best highlight reel he can. And that's what he's doing. I mean, we're going to remember this guy way more than these because he does so many outlandish things. And so last year, let's see, you know, only one Kachikoshi, but again, look at his rankings. Komusubi, Megashira 1, 4, 4, 5, 2, Murderer's Row, every tournament of Ura. Lots of bouts against the Yokozuna and the Ozeki, you know, and then struggled a lot in that November tournament, right, 5 and 10. And it's been a similar story this year, you know, hovering around those joy positions and finding it hard to get wins. But he's already put some good highlights together. He went viral this year for his Tsutsatsuri win over Takayasu. Well, that's great. That makes this pack pretty special to get this Ura. Because who doesn't love the Peach Prince? Wonderful. And I think that's a stable. I think he's a stablemate of Diamami. I think they're both in Kisei stable. So there we go. Okay. Not bad. Just two juryo guys this time, and one of them's Chiyomaru. So pretty happy with that. So thank you all for watching, and you know, we've got 2 more of these packs, or 2 more videos to do, and maybe more after that. I mean, I'm enjoying them, and so yeah, I think I'll keep doing them. Of course, you can read lots of sumo analysis here at sumostomp.com. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Please give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment too. I'd love to hear from you, and chat in the comments about what you like about these videos, what you don't like, what you'd like to see next. But yeah, we have our holographic Urla to join our stable with our holographic Onokatsu and Oroga from the previous pulls. Okay, maybe Tobazaro joins next week. For now though, take care, be kind, fight with spirit, go Urla.